Welcome back to another Outdoor Philosophy, and it is getting cold. I don't know how long I'll be able to do these outdoors, but we'll see. So we're going to continue our talking about simplification and minimalism, and what we're going to do here for the next couple weeks, as long as it takes, is we're going to go through individual rooms of the house, and I'm going to kind of start with the rooms I have in my house, and then we'll kind of branch out into other ones that I'm forgetting about. Maybe I'll go through some old pictures of other houses I've lived in and see what I can find. But today I wanted to start in on the bedroom. So when you are considering minimalizing and simplifying your life, go into your bedroom and see how many clothes that you have. So I knew this lady once that she was like an absolute shopaholic. Just still a student, brand new car, payments to the hilt, and I helped her move to a new apartment once, and she had so many clothes that there were clothes. Her whole closet was full. 2 dressers in her closet was full. The entire second bedroom closet was full. 2 dressers full, and piles and piles of, it was like a used clothing store. It was so many clothes, and that is so excessive. And what you want to do is look at the clothing that you have and question yourself, what do you actually need? Do you need all of that? Or is that just excess waste? And, some people who know me may criticize that, some of my socks have holes in them and some of my shirts may have holes in them as well. And they're just like, you need new clothes. I'm like, no, my clothes are still way better than about 90% of the world's clothes. I don't need a lot of clothes. I try and keep 1, maybe 2 weeks of clothes on hand, and that is about it. And that's kind of that goal. You want to keep a suit. If someone needs to get married or buried, you need to have a suit laying around. Just do that. Or you consider renting one, whatever. But then you look at the rest of the clothes that you have. Do you really need 15 or 20 or 30 pairs of pants? Probably not. Pick 1 or 2. Now, if you want to go the extreme route, play a Steve Jobs and have just a couple that are all identical. And so you don't even have to make decisions. That really is a good way of simplifying your life. And honestly, it's a direction that I'm like, I don't really see a problem with that personally. And I'm not a guy that buys a lot of clothes. I can't even think of the last time I went out and actually bought clothes. I think I bought a pair of jeans at Goodwill 6 months ago, maybe. So I really don't even buy a lot of clothes. But then what I started to do is even though I wasn't buying a lot of clothes, is I did pick up a lot of things at, like a dollar a bag, whatever you can fill up at flea markets, whatever else, things like that. And, I looked down and I looked like I have way too many clothes still. And so I actually was able to get rid of about half of what I had. That my closet it's very neat and organized. I got shirts over here. I got pants over there, but I don't have an excessive amount of either of them. I have just like 3 sweaters. I have, 5 or 6 good shirts, and I have a couple pairs of pants, and that's generally good. You don't need a whole lot more than that in the means of clothes. So look at all those extra clothes, take them to Goodwill, take them to thrift shops, sell them, consignment shops, whatever it takes. Just get rid of all of the excess clothes. If you got more than 2 weeks of clothes, you probably have too many clothes. And so that's one of those things to think about is look into that. Triage the closets. See what is lingering in the back corner of the closet that you may not even realize is there. I mean, if you didn't even realize it's there, it's probably not going to be a bad thing if you just take the whole thing, pick it up, and throw it away. Don't even look through it. Of course, you might want to do that a little bit. Of course, that was one of the strategies we talked about early on is get together some bins, put a date on it, throw things in the bins that you're not sure you necessarily need, and if you have not gone into that bin for 6 months to look for that item, just take the bin, don't even look what's in it, and throw it away. Or if it's all remotely useful stuff, just give it to a charity or something like that. So look for little things lingering in your closets that probably don't need to be there. Reducing the furniture. So one thing is you may be able to reduce some of the furniture when you get rid of the extra clothes. But if you look around, you got like two different nightstands. Like, I had two different nightstands in the bedroom. I'm like, why do I have two different stands in the bedroom? Like, one of them has a lamp and lots of extra space. The other one has a phone charger and a book, and that's about it. It's like, well, what happens if I just move one of these out of here, put the book and the phone charger on the one stand with the lamp and call it good? And that's what I did, and it was awesome, So, and then, now those are actually sitting in the living room. They're on Craigslist right now, and, when someone buys them, great, someone buys them. If they don't, they don't. Oh, well. I'll have them for later, whatever. So I'm not throwing them out necessarily. It's just, if someone wants to come by and say, hey, I'll give you $20 for those tables, sure. No big deal. And so that's kind of what you do, is reduce the furniture. Just see if you have excess furniture, excess things, excess knickknacks. You're going to hear me say that all throughout the room of the house. Get rid of those excess knickknacks. They're just little garbage. They're little things. They collect dust. They're problematic. They kind of get in the way. They more than triple the time it takes to clean things. And the fact that you have them, you're sick of looking at them, but you got to replace the knickknacks means you've got to spend more money. And it's just like, it becomes this endless cycle of crazy. And so you have to watch out for that. And then, of course, the next thing that I have in the bedroom is, don't keep that phone charger plugged in. This kind of goes to that whole thing we talked about earlier with electricity. Don't keep anything plugged in that does not have to stay plugged in. Okay? I don't keep anything plugged in. I mean, my whole entertainment stand, my Raspberry Pi with my entertainment stand, the TV, all that stuff is on a power strip. And when I'm done watching something, click the power switch, strip off. Now, I do keep the strip plugged in that case, but I do turn it off. I did the same thing with the office. I had 3 power strips power my office. I was able to condense everything that always has to be on, which would be the modem and the router. The router, and the NAS computer always stay on, so I can access those things, whenever, however. So I'm condensed everything down that those items are all on one power strip, and everything else can be turned off. This also has an extra bonus if I'm out and about or whatever else, big thunderstorm comes by, a power surge happens, guess what doesn't get fried in my office? All my stuff. So, I basically condensed that around and making sure that I can unplug all that. So the same thing goes with your phone charger. Don't keep that phone charger perpetually plugged in. They actually draw power when you keep it plugged in, even if you're not charging the phone. So unplug it. Unplug it, and, most of us charge our phones overnight. They say you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to charge something when you're sleeping or not aware or not attentive. We do. So the fact is, though, is that if you have that phone charging in your house, in your bedroom, pull that thing out and just set it on the table. Just pull it out from the wall, set it on the table. And then when you're ready to charge the phone back up, is it really all that extra time to plug it in before you plug the phone in? No. Takes an extra second once a day. If we can't spare that, then we're too busy. We need to minimize our life. So, and that is what I have to say about the bedroom. I see I'm only gone about 8 minutes in, so let's go ahead and do another room, shall we? I guess the same thing kind of applies to the spare bedroom. If you have a spare room in your house, in my case, the spare room doubles as the weight room, but, it has a closet, and the closets in the spare rooms, like the closets in the spare rooms in the garage, these areas, they just become these magnets for junk. They just, whatever you can't figure out where it goes, ends up in either the closet or the spare room in the closet, or it ends up in the garage. And so you want to keep that in mind, that, take a look through that closet. So other things about the spare room, clean out that closet, keep that thing nice and cleaned out. You don't need excess stuff in there. And it's a lot easier to clean when it's cleaned out, by the way. Minimize the decorations. Of course, if you have a spare room, you might have an extra bed in there. It's a guest room for when people come by. You want to have it nice and homey, but you don't want it overrunning with knickknacks. And so just keep the decorations to a minimum. Maybe a nice picture on the wall and matching sheets, and if you're joining a seashell theme, a seashell on the desk, whatever else. Just keep it very, very simple and minimize the rest of that stuff. And then here's another tip, particularly if you have pets. Keep the spare room door closed. Okay, pet hair gets everywhere. Like, you will keep the room closed, the pets will never get in there, and you will still find pet hair in the spare room. But if you can keep the pets out of there, or you can keep other things out of there, you will have a much better place in keeping that room a lot cleaner, a lot faster, and that's going to reduce your time it takes to clean things. So clean out that closet, minimize the decorations, and keep the pets out of that room. Just kind of keep that as a separate room just for that own special purpose, and that's what I do. I keep the doors closed in that room. They're only open if I'm in there. I let the cats in there if I'm in there, but I don't let them in there otherwise. I just don't want them roaming everywhere in the house. Same with the office. I keep the door closed when I'm not in there. Of course, I'm in there a lot, so the door's open all day. But regardless, those are kind of my first tips. So we'll continue on with more rooms in the house a little bit later. So thank you for watching. Once again, if you'd like to help support what we're doing, check out switchtolinux.com/support to learn about all the ways that you can help us. And check the links in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.